I'm Amy Dowling here at Fusion Pilates in Asheville, and today we're going to be talking about oiling the hips. So for most of us, we have very tight hips, and we don't even realize we have tight hips because we're only used to moving them in certain ranges of motion. And many of you who come into the studio are familiar with the piriformis stretch that we often do, and so I'm going to give you a couple of variations on that to hopefully help oil your hips a little bit. So we're going to start on our backs with the pelvis long, head heavy. You're going to cross one leg over the other. And to start with, I want you to just think of rotating the leg out and in several times. So you're just letting the leg release, feeling really heavy in the back of the hip, and just encouraging a little bit of movement and circulation there. So we want to gently encourage the hips to move into a little bit more of a stretch. So after you've done that a few times, you're going to actively press this hip away, bringing a little bit of traction into the hip. And as I do this, I still want to keep my heavy pelvis. I'm not trying to curl my tail up to the ceiling, but I'm trying to reach it away from me in space and create more space in the front of this hip and this side waist. So you want to breathe into that shape a little bit. And then you can let the arm release, but keep thinking of pressing down with that leg. And then you can start to rotate over to the opposite side. So I'm really trying to keep that length in my spine, that reach through the leg, and then slowly I come back. And so you just do this a few times, reaching through, feeling the upper torso fully released, and trying to breathe into wherever you feel that tightness or restriction. So do this a couple more times. And if this foot touches the floor, great. If it only goes to here, that's fine. Doesn't matter what the range of motion is, as long as you feel a little bit of stretch in the low back and the right hip. So breathing here, taking your time. And then you slowly bring it back, and you want to let that foot rest on the floor. Before you go to the opposite side, do a little mini bridge. So you want to float the hips up and down, just to let the sacrum kind of reset and find its neutral home position before you do this on the other side. So we'll cross the left foot over the right. We start with those little bit of just a little bit of movement we're introducing into the hip. So here I'm internally rotating and then externally rotating. And you do a couple of those, again, just to bring awareness and circulation into that space. And then after a few repetitions, you're going to actively press that leg away, trying to keep the pelvis long without curling the tail up. So the low back is light into the floor, and you're trying to create lots of length in your spine as you press the thigh away. Breathe into this for a few breath cycles, and then when you take the hand away, you want to keep that idea of reaching that leg as you start to rotate towards the standing foot side. And again, it doesn't matter how far you reach. You're just trying to stay heavy in the skeleton, keep reaching the top leg away. Keep lengthening through your spine. And after you've done a couple of rocks back and forth, you're going to hold and breathe. And so here I'm trying to create lots of space on my inhale, exhale, letting go. And do a couple of breaths there, then gently bring yourself back to center. The foot will float back down to the mat. Here again, you want to float the hips up a couple of times just to allow the sacrum to realign and find its home base. And that is oiling the hips.